Nate Smith's love of basketball goes back to the time when he was only 10 years old. Nate began his basketball career at Morgantown High School in Morgantown, West Virginia. He played a key role in many important high school games.
Lob pass up top for Colasurdo. It's tipped. It's stolen by Nathan Smith. He's driving in. Colasurdo. He spins from Colasurdo and he scores. Oh, what a move by Nathan Smith.
He went on to become an outstanding college player, starting for American University. Over 4 years, Smith scored 1,500 points for his team. Here are a few of his college highlights.
Smith gonna take it. He got it. Oh, I tell you what, that's a 25-foot three-pointer with a defender in his face. There is Smith shooting the three-pointer, and that's what Kentucky's going to have to guard against in this game. They call him the Natron Bomb. Well, we talked about him at the top of the broadcast, and one thing he loves to do is catch and shoot. Up court in a hurry now. Smith against Mills, all the way, laying it up and in. Nathan Smith showing his ability to drive there. How about that? That's right out of the Tubby Smith playbook. Nice little inside-out dribble, takes it, reverse layup. Nice play by Nathan Smith. Shows that not only can he stroke the three, he can take it to the hole. He's the leading scorer in the game.
Well, you know, American has a fella named Smith, too, and he is Nathan Smith. He is a three-point shooter.
He can flat out shoot the basketball. Maybe one of the best we're going to see in Rupp Arena this year.
Again, Nate Smith, guarded by Stokes. He's going to crank it.
Oh, boy, we talked about the guy can shoot it. He's the all-time leading three-point shooter for American University, and that's the way to get untracked.
Nathan Smith, who really was the guy out hustling Maryland, especially down the stretch here in the first half, had a couple nice hoops like that. Those are strictly hustle points. Nathan Smith's got the threes. He's got the ability to score 20-25 a game.
The men's player of the week, junior guard Nate Smith.
Well, Nathan Smith does so many things well. Not only is he a three-point shooter, he's a very good end-of-the-game player. You can see his driving layups. You see his defense. He passes well. What I like about Smith is he's a very good big play man. He's what they call good end-of-the-game player. And if you foul him at the end of the game, he shoots 84%.
After sinking 293 three-point shots for American, Smith was invited to participate in the national three-point shootout at the NCAA Final Four. Dick Vitale broadcast the contest.
I'll tell you a guy I'm going to like in this competition, Nathan Smith. I'm going to really like this kid from out of American.
Yeah, he's the sleeper.
Yeah, he really is. He made 84 trays in 26 games this year.
Here's the guy that may be the underdog, but Steve Wojciechowski was talking about him. I watched him warm up last night, and he can fill it up.
He made a three in 64 consecutive games, so he can flat out shoot it, Nathan Smith. Ran into his coach today, and he said, hey, watch my guy. He can shoot the three.
We're talking about Rhodes scholarships. He was a state finalist from West Virginia in that category, and here they go. Billy Thomas on the left and Nathan Smith on the right.
He's got that soft touch. He shoots the ball very soft. A little short right now, not getting enough legs in it.
Got the bonus ball as they move to rack two.
Got the bonus to go down. There's Nathan. I'll tell you, he's got that great release.
Only one has gone in for Billy Thomas.
Yes. Nathan feeling it right now, Brad. Yes, sir.
Billy Thomas
was my guy.
Hit four. Hit them all from the top of the circle.
Oh, yes. So did my guy, Nathan. He's on fire. He's got 14. And count him. He's going, baby.
Billy Thomas getting hot, but it might be too late.
Yeah, Billy's one of those rhythm shooters. Once he gets in a rhythm, Nathan takes his time. He really has a lot of patience and poise.
Nate's already got the best round of anybody so far. Bonus ball doesn't go for Thomas. Smith got it.
Sir. No one's broken the 20 mark yet today.
And Nate Smith.
Oh, yeah, he broke it.
Yeah, that bonus ball put him over.
Yeah, 21.
After college, Nate embarked on a dynamic pro career, playing for teams in the U.S. and overseas. He was known as one of the top shooters in Europe. For the past several years, Nate has been teaching and inspiring promising athletes of all ages here at the Nate Smith Basketball School.
Welcome to the Nate Smith Basketball School. I'm Nate Smith. Over the past several years, I've offered basketball skill development to students of all ages and skill levels. My basketball journey began many years ago and has given me an opportunity to be exposed to a wide range of coaches, teachers, and students from all over the world. Basketball can be a fun game. Whether your goal is to play on your school team or to play on the rec team, this video series is designed to give you a strong foundation and lay down the basics for success in basketball. Since this is our first lesson together, let's start with the basics for now. The best way to begin is to work on ball handling. These are a few drills I like to use to develop proper ball control, fingertip strength, and ball speed. All right, Caleb, we want to start with fingertip strength, okay? Remember I said fingertip strength is the foundation for ball handling, okay? The stronger those fingertips get, the harder you can pound the ball on the floor, the more control you're going to have, all right? Just to get them warmed up, let's smack that ball back and forth. Smack. Good. This one you can do just for about 10 seconds or so. Get those fingertips nice and warm, ready to go. Okay, good. Now you look down at your hands, you see those hands getting red, fingertips getting ready to go. Next one is called popcorn, all right? We're going to put that ball down low here using just our fingertips. I'm going to pop it. Now there's a couple ways you can do this. I like to do it down low. I like to do it in the middle, call it medium, and then up high. No part of my palm is touching the ball, just my fingertips and the pad of my hand. All right, give it a shot. That's it, use those fingertips. Pop it back and forth. They call it popcorn. It kind of sounds like popcorn popping. Good, up high. Good, Caleb, that's it. Use those fingertips. Good. Fingertip strength is what we're going for here. You want to put that ball up in a cup like this, okay? Let that ball rest up high on your fingertips. And what I want to do, without throwing the ball, I want to pop it from side to side. Okay, so I'm going to squeeze my fingers together and just pop it to the other side. Now when I'm catching it on the other side, I want to catch it just with the fingertips. I'll pop that ball back and forth, Caleb, using just those fingertips. So you don't want to throw the basketball like this, but just squeeze it. Squeeze the banana like a banana peel, slippery. Just pop it back and forth. All right, try it out, Caleb. Good, that's it. I want to really hear that swoosh. That's it. Use those fingertips. Now the next one we're going to do is around the waist. Okay? You can really develop a lot of speed with this drill, and this will really get those fingertips strong. Okay? Around the waist with the basketball. You want to make circles. Some coaches use the term wraps. I like to just call it around the waist. We're going around. And you notice when I do this, it's pretty quiet. You can't hear a whole lot because I'm using my fingertips and the pad of my hand, not my palm, but the fingertips going around the waist, okay? Building speed. Now this one's good for fingertip strength, but also you're developing the strength of your shoulders and your biceps a little bit, okay? Let's give it a shot. Okay, now let's do the same thing, and we'll go around the ankles this time, okay? So we're making circles around the ankles. Again, on this one, I want to make sure I'm bending my knees, not my waist. It's important that I bend my knees because that keeps my head up in the proper position. We always want to keep our head up when we're dribbling the basketball. So I'm going around the ankles. Okay? Keeping that head up. Building speed. All right, give it a shot. That's it. Keep that head up, bend the knees. Good. You'll feel that in your forearms and your fingertips. That's what we're developing here, that strong foundation. Good. Move that ball. Excellent. All right, now let's do one more here around your head, okay? We're going around the head. All right, let's try it. Good. Fingertips, good. Let that ball rest on those fingertips. Spread those fingers out, almost like a suction cup with your fingertips. Good. After I've done the ankles, the waist, and the head, I like to put all three of them together, okay? This one I'll do for about 30 seconds. Start at the ankles. I go ankles, waist, head, and then right back down. Ankles, waist, head, then waist, then ankles. And I'm really building speed, moving that ball quick. Let's try it out. Good. Fingertips. Excellent. Wrapping that ball around. Very good. Another really good drill is called a lob trap, okay? A lob trap is where I throw the ball up in the air, all right? I'm going to go down on one knee, and as soon as that ball hits the floor, I'm going to trap it with just my fingertips. Now, when that ball hits the floor, it's going to be coming off of there pretty hard, and the higher I throw it, the harder it's going to hit the floor. So I want to throw the ball up. I go down on one knee, and as soon as it hits the ground, I trap it as low to the ground as possible. Throw it up. Good. Excellent. Excellent. Fingertips. Get those hands ready. Make that suction cup. Spread those fingers out. Excellent. One more. Nice job. Now that really develops that strength of those fingertips. Now we're going to get into the 2-ball drills, making our right and our left hand the same. Just like when we did when we had one basketball stationary, it's important that we get down in this athletic position with our butt down, our back straight, again, forcing our head to be up. All these drills want to be performed in this position, okay? That way you have proper balance, and like I say, you're down in that athletic, ready position. First one we're going to do, we just call together, all right? We're going to pound both basketballs as hard as we can, trying to keep them at the same height together. Really using the fingertips, not using the palm of your hand, but the fingertips and the pad of your hand, all right? Give it a try, Caleb. Keeping that head up, good. Maybe keeping that ball down at least below your waist, if not below your knees. Head up, pound it, fingertips, good. All right, good. Now, that's 2-ball together. The next one we're going to do is alternate, or one up, one down. Again, same position we talked about. Butt down, back straight, head up. And I'm going to try to make a steady rhythm. All right, try it out. Head up, good. Try to get a steady rhythm there. Good. Excellent, Caleb. So don't forget the 7 basic drills for better ball handling. Ball slaps, popcorn, squeeze the banana, around the waist, head, and ankles, the lob trap, 2-ball together, and 2-ball alternate. Now let's turn our attention to everyone's favorite part of basketball, shooting. Everybody likes to shoot, but very few of us do it the right way. The method I like to use to teach shooting is the BEEF method. BEEF stands for balance, eyes, elbow, and follow-through. All right, Kate, with shooting, there's 4 basic steps that you want to remember. Balance, elbow, eyes, and follow-through, okay? So we're going to do this together. Let's start, number 1, with balance, with our feet shoulder-width apart, okay? So go ahead and get your feet shoulder-width apart. Now, as a right-hander, I'm a right-hand shooter, so I want my right foot just slightly in front of my left, okay? Now, you're a left-handed shooter, so you want your left slightly in front of your right. And what I mean by slightly in front is the toe of my left foot would be lined up with the curve in my right, and in your case, it'd be the opposite, with the left in front and the right lined up with the curve, okay? Now, one way to know if your feet are in the proper position, if you take the ball, it should fit right in between your knees, okay? Now, if you go any wider than that or any closer, you don't have a proper base, and the weight is not evenly distributed. So you want that weight even. That's it. Good. So your feet are in the proper position. Now, bend your knees. Very important. This is one of the most neglected areas of shooting, is most of the power from your shot comes from your legs. Okay? So you want to even bend your knees before you catch the basketball. Okay? Very, very important. It's probably the number one reason why kids miss a shot in a game is because they're not bent before they catch. Okay? So feet shoulder width apart, knees bent. That's step number 1, balance, and it's probably the most important step in shooting. Okay? Now the second step, Kate, is your eyes. Okay? Now some coaches talk about focusing on the front part of the basket, shoot over the front, aim for the back of the rim. What I want to do is swish the basketball, especially in this position when I'm facing the basket. So I'm aiming for just slightly over the front of the rim. So my eyes are focused on that target. Now if I was banking a shot, I would probably be focused on the square, the backboard, okay? Eyes always have to be on the target. A lot of shooters tend to follow the shot in flight, and that's a mistake because what happens a lot of times is as your head goes up to follow that shot, your shoulders go back with it, and that causes your shot to hit the front of the rim. So it's important when you shoot the basketball, you want to have those eyes stay on the target throughout the whole shot, okay? So balance and eyes. Now the next step is elbow, okay, and this is probably the most common mistake that you see with shooters. It's very important when shooting the basketball. The shooting hand and shooting elbow has to maintain, you have to be in an L shape, and you have to maintain that throughout the shooting process. I like to take, and as a right-hander, I like to make that L shape and kind of cock my hand back like this and spread my fingers out. And what you do, you create what they call like a table, and that's an area, if you watch, that ball will sit comfortably right here on the table. Now I want all my fingers behind the ball. I don't want any of my thumb or any of my fingers in front. I want them behind the ball. And also I want a little bit of space under there, okay? They say you should be able to slide about 2 fingers of space under the ball. So you don't want that ball on your palm, okay? You want that ball resting on the pad of your hand. And the pad of your hand, Kate, is this area right here, okay? And that should be a pretty comfortable position, okay? With all the fingers behind the ball, all right? The ball slightly to the side of your head, you got that nice L shape. If you get the ball too far here in front of your forehead, you'll notice then you lose your L shape. Great shooters maintain that throughout the shot. So that hand's rested back like this, and that's going to give that ball nice lift on the release. The final step in the shooting process is follow through, okay? You've got your L shape, you've got your knees bent, your feet are shoulder width apart, okay? Now, this guide hand, okay, what do we do with that? Well, we want to rest that guide hand right on the side of the ball, not on top or behind it. You don't want to put that hand behind because you'll use both hands to shoot it, and you don't want to put it on top because it affects the spin of the ball. So we want that guide hand on the side, all right, that nice L shape. Now this position right here, Kate, is what you call ready position, okay? You're an active shooter now. You're ready to shoot the basketball, okay? This is the position you want to catch the ball in a game. And when you catch it in this position, you're ready to pull the trigger on the shot. Very important because not only physically are you prepared for the shot, but also mentally. You're thinking shot when you catch, okay? So you have that ball in position, you're ready to follow through. I like to think of follow through in terms of like an elevator, going from floor to floor. So let's just pretend that there's a 10-story building coming up from your hand, okay? What we want this shooting hand to do is we want this to go all the way to the 10th floor. So you're going all the way to the top, and you're going to snap your wrist at the top, okay? This guide hand is going to go to the 7th floor. So it's not going to go all the way to the top. So if you watch me, Kate, all right, I'm going to bring this hand up to the 10th floor. This one's going all the way to the top. This one's going to get off just short of the top at the 7th floor, okay? So we don't want that ball going this way or this way. We want lift. So that ball is going up, snapping at the top, and this one gets off at the 7th floor, okay? So we want to keep that guide hand in this position, the hand cocked back, we get nice lift on the shot. You want to follow through and hold that position until the ball goes into the basket, okay? So the legs come up, you go to the 10th floor with the shooting hand, the guide hand dropped off at the 7th, and then let that ball roll off your fingertips. And what that's going to do is that's going to create rotation or backspin on the ball. Now, Kate, when you put all four of these steps together, the balance, the eyes, the elbow, and the follow-through, okay, when you release that ball, you're going to see that rotation again. Very important because that keeps the ball on the basket, okay? If it does hit the rim, that ball spinning, it's going to stay up there and has a chance to go in because you're not going to swish every shot. So let's put it all together, and what I want you to do, all right, I want you to shoot that ball straight up into the air, okay? Now, if it has the proper rotation, it should hit the ground and come right back to you. Now, let's look for that spin, and remember, just like the elevator, we want lift on that shot, okay? 10th floor with the shooting hand, 7th floor with the guide hand. Let's try one. Shoot it up into the air. Let's see if it comes back to you. Good, very good. Try it again. You're generating that power from the legs, okay? Legs are where your power comes from, and then you finish with the tricep and the muscle here. Those are the muscles that finish the shot, but it's very important that you generate your power from your legs. Nice and high, straight up into the air. A little bit higher, Kate, one more time. Good. Let's hold that follow-through. Remember, we're going to hold that follow-through till the ball comes back to you. Very good. All right, Kate, now after you've done a couple shots up into the air, okay, what the muscles begin to do is they begin to memorize that. So if you do it again and again and again, what happens is just like you're studying for a test in school, if you go over the questions again and again, you get a good grade on the test. Well, shooting the same way every time, the correct way using beef is going to get those muscles to memorize it. So we've done a couple up in the air. Now it's time to shoot at the baskets, okay? So let's turn to the basket here. And what we're going to do is the same concept that you just used there. Again, we're using beef, all right? What we want to do now, though, we were going to shoot at the basket. And you want to stay in close on this one, maybe about a step away from the basket. All right, once you've got your 4 steps and you're ready to go, let's go ahead and get ready. I want you to shoot this ball up to the basket, Kate, and I want you to swish it, okay? And by perfect shot, we call this perfect shot because that ball should go in without hitting any rim. It should hit the ground and come back to you, okay? If you're getting that backspin, it should come right back to you. And that's what I look for as a shooter, is that ball to come back to me when I shoot. All right? Perfect shot drill. If you do it 5 to 10 minutes a day, those muscles memorize that routine, and then it happens in a game. All right? Let's give it a shot. Let's see if you can swish it right over the front of the hoop. That's it. Try it again. Good shot, but it hit the rim. Remember, we want this ball to go right over the front of the hoop and come back to you. Good. Again, good shot. You're getting good rotation. Now, if that ball's hitting the front of the rim, maybe a little bit more legs. So let's use a little bit more legs and a little bit more lift. Try it again. Very good. All right, Kate, now when you're doing perfect shot, there's a couple things to remember, okay? Notice how close we are to the basket. One of the most common mistakes kids make is they shoot too far out too soon. And what happens then, of course, the muscles memorize the wrong technique, okay? There's a couple things to look for when you're missing a shot, all right? And one thing great shooters do, they're able to correct their mistakes. Now, right now, you got great position. Let's bend those knees and get ready. This is great position. Sometimes when you have perfect form, sometimes this ball still won't go in the basket. You can shoot this ball and it may hit the front of the rim. If that would happen, Kate, all you have to do is use a little bit more power, which means a little bit more legs and maybe a little bit more follow through. Make sure you're locking your elbow out and going to the 10th floor. Now, if you see a shot that goes off to the side of the rim, if it's missing one side or the other, okay, that's a good indication that either your feet are too close together, you don't have your shoulder width, or that your elbow is not in an L shape. A lot of shooters shoot from the other side of their head. There's a pretty good chance that that ball is going to go to one side of the rim or the other. So if you see the ball missing off to the side, I'm talking off right or left, or maybe you missed the rim entirely, it's a pretty good indication that that elbow is out, okay? As far as rotation goes, you always need rotation. Every shot should have that backspin. And perfect shot's a great way to work on that. If you're not seeing backspin, that means that the ball is resting on your palm, okay? You're not allowing that two-finger space underneath the ball in your palm. So that ball should roll off your fingertips. Make sure you allow a little space under there, and that ball you'll get the proper rotation, okay? So remember, Kate, it's the BEEF method. B for balance, E for eyes, E for elbow, and F for follow-through. It's very important that you remember all 4 steps in the shooting process: balance, eyes, elbow, and follow-through. In order to become a consistent shooter and develop the proper muscle memory, the perfect shot drill must be practiced daily. Now let's talk a bit about defense. It's very important that you develop the proper defensive position and slide technique. Being able to stop your opponent is an essential part of basketball. All right, Chris, when we're talking about defense, there's a couple basic things we want to remember. Okay, first is getting in the proper defensive position. Okay, what I like to do on defense, I get my feet about shoulder width apart. So go ahead and do this with me. Let's get our feet shoulder width apart. All right, don't go too wide with your feet because you're not in a position to move, and you want to get the weight on the balls of your feet. So not up on your toes like this, but let's just get our weight on the balls of our feet and just kind of rock back and forth. This should feel pretty comfortable. You're in an athletic position, ready to move quickly, okay? Your butt is down and your back is straight. Get that back as straight as you can. It should be comfortable. Now you'll start to feel that burning in your legs, okay? Now, a lot of different things you can do with your hands. Some coaches will tell you to put your palms up like this, and the reason we do that is because that's a non-aggressive position to a referee. If I go in like this, I can pop that ball away, and I'm probably not going to get a foul. Whereas if I go in this way, I'm more likely to get the foul called. So for now, we're just going to put both palms up, okay? So both palms up like this, showing your palms butt down, back straight. All right, you're in that athletic position, and you're ready to slide, okay? Now, when we slide, 2 things to remember, okay? You don't want to cross your feet over as you're sliding, and you don't want to click them together so your feet aren't touching. When you slide, you want to keep that butt down. You want to step and slide, step and slide. I even like to point my toe in the direction that I'm sliding. So if I would be sliding this way, I'd step. Notice how the toe points and slide. Don't drag that foot into the ground because that'll slow you down. Just a step, slide. Keeping your butt down. Keeping your butt down. That's it. Good. Try a couple step slides. That's it. Good. Excellent. All right. Great. Now, as we're sliding, make sure we step and slide, and we don't want to cross those feet over. Anytime you cross your feet, you're going to get off balance, okay? Sometimes you could even fall down. And when you click them together, same thing. You also want to be careful not to bounce up and down. A lot of people play defense. They go up and they go down. And notice how my head stays in the same position. Let's go this way. Step, slide. Okay, one more. Step, slide. Keeping those palms up. Let's move the palms now as we slide, almost like we're pulling ourselves along a rope. Let's just imagine there's a rope at our waist and we pull along that rope. Keeping those hands up, moving those hands. Makes it very difficult for an offensive player. Now you have those active hands, and that makes them really think about dribbling that ball out in front of you, okay? All right, Chris, one of the best ways to work on proper foot positioning and defensive stance is called the rollout drill, okay? It's a pretty simple drill. You need a couple basketballs. I have 3 here, and you need a partner, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll the ball on the floor, all right? And what I want you to do is get in your defensive position that we talked about, and I want you to slide to the ball. And almost like a shortstop in baseball, you're going to get that ball right in between your feet, drop your butt down, okay? Pick that ball up off the floor, just like you're fielding a ground ball, and you're just going to gently toss it back to me, okay? So very important that you get your head and your nose lined up with that basketball. So as it's rolling towards you, you don't want to be here. You see how the ball's not in between my feet, my head and nose are here, the ball's here, but I want to be here, okay? I also want to bend my knees and not my waist. I don't want you picking the ball up like this. In this position, you're not in an athletic and ready position. So we got to drop straight down, pick the ball up, and just gently toss it back, okay? So I'm gonna get down on one knee. Now I'm gonna start kind of slow, and then we'll build speed. Remember, don't cross or touch your feet, and we don't want to bounce up and down, okay? Let's get in our stance, Chris. Weight on the balls of your feet. Let's get those palms up, and here we go. We're sliding. Good. That's excellent. Good. Don't cross or touch the feet. Slide and get your butt down. Very good, very good. Good. Now I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Make sure you're dropping that butt. Get those palms up. Don't forget to use those hands. Move those hands along. That's it. Active hands. Let that offensive player know that if they get lazy with the ball, you're going to pop it away. Excellent. That's it. Butt down. Good. Don't cross or touch. Point that toe in the direction you're sliding. Very good, Chris. Remember on defense, keep that butt down, back straight. All right, weight on the balls of the feet and keep those hands active, okay? If you can stop your opponent from scoring, you're going to be a valuable player on any team. All right, guys, let's give it a shot now. Good passes. Let's go. Snap that ball out there. By now, you should have a basic understanding of the game of basketball. Remember to build confidence and control with the basketball, the 7 ball handling drills we focused on. When shooting, use the beef method, balance, elbow, eyes, and follow through. And finally, for defense, the rollout drill. Well, that's about it for now. We'll see you when you're ready for your next lesson at the Nate Smith Basketball School.